Comparative effectiveness, to a great extent, will focus on the analysis of data and databases about how routine care is being provided and how patients in typical situations are responding to that care. Databases are being put together by government entities. The FDA is putting together databases, CMS is putting together databases, and then in the private sector this is going on. The question in terms of asymmetry is who will have access to that information? At the moment, many of these databases, especially the governmental ones, will be used by the government, will be used by selected researchers, but probably won't be widely available to others, like the pharmaceutical industry, the device manufacturers, payers, and providers. So there'll probably be a constrained access to information, and that creates an asymmetry which is probably not beneficial. From my standpoint, having more people have access who can analyze the data, its strengths, its limitations, see if they came up with similar results, is all beneficial. As you analyze information, one of the questions that comes up is when do you have enough information, sufficient evidence that you can say, yes, I now know whether there's a safety issue, whether this drug or intervention is effective or not. And right now, we have different thresholds for when a safety issue becomes relevant versus when a benefit is sufficiently demonstrated that we can begin to talk about that. Right now, it takes a substantial amount of evidence to make a claim that a particular drug, for example, shows improvement in a particular illness. However, if we're talking about a safety issue, one patient having a bad reaction, all of a sudden it becomes the topic for the news media. Is that asymmetry, the bar being set differently, is that beneficial for society or not? And you can make very good arguments on both sides of that. In today's environment, the pharmaceutical industry has a set of rules and regulations about what they can share and what they can't share. It has to be something that comes from a clinical trial that's been reviewed by the FDA and that's part of the package insert or the specific literature that's been approved. On the other hand, just about anybody else can talk about whatever information they want related to the same medication. It could be a health plan that does an internal analysis and finds a certain characteristic. It could be a researcher. It could be just about anybody that has that capability. And that creates an asymmetry which is problematic. Because from my standpoint, having more people talk freely about evidence and sharing that information is beneficial for everyone. Having the industry have more constraints than everyone else is problematic.